Hello and welcome to this quick tutorial video regarding a new system and framework for civilian environments in use by the Zeus team of the 4IB. This entire scenario and example will be based around a section of 8 people going into a marketplace. Shown here is the old system where we would only place down the number of AI we could realistically play with the resources the Zeus team had. This would result in a very sparse looking civilian environment where there's only a small number of visible civs for the infantry to see at range, and it doesn't look the best. However, it does produce interactions and reduces the chance of players interacting with just voiceless men. Moving on to the new system here. Here we will have what we call a supplemented interaction environment. So what happens is you can see there's still the same amount of played characters played by Zeus as given interaction to the infantry, but there will also be virtual interactions or simulated interactions placed in code onto these characters. This code is made in prefabs which will be accessible to you in J2, and I will now demonstrate how to put this on the AI and what it will look like. Right, how do you place the script onto a civilian or AI? Simply, you double click on its entity indicator, and then you control and paste the prefab script from the Google Doc and paste it into here. The way it works is, the initial option that will be shown to the player would be talk to civilian. During the interaction will be the hint called talking as a pop-up, and then after the interaction is concluded, the result pop-up will be this civilian does not understand English. This value of 7 indicates the duration of time that interaction will take. I will not be placing it on the civilian itself because every time you place scripts down, it automatically saves it in your drop down. So I already have this interaction saved. So once you've already placed this script before, all you have to do is double click on the entity indicator, click your drop down and say talk to civilian. It does exactly the same code as you did previous. Make sure this indicator icon says G, so it will globally execute. Then you simply press OK, and you have the script on the AI. What it would look like is this. Player will come up, get within 3 meters of range, and hold space to talk to civilian. It will take approximately 7 seconds, that was the duration in the code, to do the talking, as you can see the pop-up, and then the result is in the top right. In order to best use this new framework or new system to supplement our civilian environments, we're going to create 3 distinct levels of simulation. Level 1 is considered filler. As in the demonstration, I put a simple interaction in, which is just filler. There's no intel given, it's merely to validate the civilian's existence and make the civilian environment look more interesting. So there you've got simple filler interaction, nothing has been gained from the player. It's more to the visual aspect that, hey, the market is populated. Moving on to level 2. Level 2 are what we call directional civilians. Directional civilians can have 1 or more different types of interactions, as you can see navigated to from the drop down in the top left. This civilian and interaction will give you directional, or the player directional intel. So as you can see here, it's slightly longer, the talking process, as you are getting more information. I believe this duration is 10 seconds. And each individual bit of intel gives a direction. So, hello British, I am currently busy and don't have much time for you. However, I know XXX would like to talk to you. Here's our YYYY. And then you just replace those areas with the needed information relative to the environment. Moving on, another level 2 can just have the simple 1 response. As long as it's a directional piece of intel, that is all that matters for a level 2. So again, talking to, and we will then soon get another bit of directional intel, as seen here. Hello British, the word around here is that we have XXXX. I've also had that YYY, and that gives the player intel that they can then action on and then move to possibly a played character that wishes to talk to them. Moving on to level 3. Level 3 is what we call advanced interactions, and there is intel in every single piece of the interaction. That's very key to it. So these are what we consider more fully fledged interactions that are virtually made. So as you can see, this level 3 has a greet the civilian, inquire about enemy activity, and say goodbye to the civilian. It's trying to simulate the interaction process to quite a more advanced degree. So greeting the civilian will also give intel to the player. So there's reason for the player to do every bit of the interaction. Again, 10 seconds as they're getting more intel. And then you can see in the top right, it's a lot more advanced. Hello, sir. Yes, I have time to talk to you. I'm glad you're here, and I'm fully willing to help. Currently, the town is XX. I think you people should talk to YYY while you are here. And then every individual bit of the interaction also has its intel, including the goodbye. This is very key, otherwise they'll just say, oh, the enemy activity one is the only one I want to do. It's very important to have intel on all pieces for a level 3. So thinking about the ratios of how often we should use each different level. So I'd say the level 1s and the level 2s will be the most common. They're the simplest to set up. You place it onto the AI. It's particularly the level 1s, and then they're just there to advance the visual environments. Level 2 will give you your directional intel to the players, and those are also quite quick to set up. The level 3s, however, are more advanced, take more time to set up, and should be the least common. Thinking about how you do a level 2 and level 3, simply put, you do one script at a time, and in the order that you put them on, that is the order that will be shown in the drop down. So for this level 2 with multiple different interactions, you can see the attempt is the first one that I actually put onto the civilian, and this R civilian is the second code I place onto the entity. And that process is exactly the same as I showed previously. Looking at this framework, what are the limitations? Limitations are that this code must only be placed once the entire player base is on the server. If the player is not on the server when the code is placed, that means that player will not be able to see the code or interact with that AI. If there is a distinct possibility that the civilian may die from combat or just something happening, you cannot place the script directly on the AI. As, if I demonstrate just here, if you kill the civilian, the interaction will still be able to happen. You'll still be able to talk to a dead civilian. So in order to get around this issue and this limitation of the script, we place down an invisible wall. It is a simple empty object. You type in invis, and you will get an invisible wall that is horizontal. You can then use the rotate object module, under objects, rotate object, and it's on the second one that you want to put to 90-degree rotation, and that will rotate the object vertically. Then move it towards the civilian, use Alt to maintain its usual or previously edited direction, and you just place it there. And then you add the scripts onto the object itself. Once you have placed the code onto an object or a entity, AI entity, there is no way you can go back and change that code. So in case you make a typo, in case you make a mistake on it, you then have to go back and delete the entity and place down a new one. That is everything I need to cover in this new system. If you have any questions, please direct them to any NCO within 12MI. My name's Barton, and I wish you a very good day.